On behalf of American Airlines, thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Corum, head of JFK T8 Commercial Affairs. As terminal operator of JFK Terminal 8, it's an exciting moment for American Airlines. American Airlines recently completed its $400 million terminal expansion that provided an enhanced travel experience for our customers and those of our partners. Now, we move on to the next phase of transforming JFK Terminal 8, a $125 million commercial redevelopment program being completed in partnership with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, along with JFK T8 Innovation Partners. This investment will expand and upgrade the concessions program with dynamic and all-new retail and dining options, placing an emphasis throughout the design, build, ownership, and operation on engaging locally owned and diverse businesses that reflect Queens, New York City, and New York State's one-of-a-kind spirit and culture. Together with the Port Authority and JFK T8 Innovation Partners, we look forward to providing a world-class experience for all those who travel and work at Terminal 8. JFK T8 Innovation Partners has been working hard to find concessionaire partners by engaging with the community. We at American Airlines could not have chosen a more dedicated commercial partner. Now we are ready to connect local, diverse businesses and build opportunities, and we look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you all for joining us today. Our session over the next few weeks will be introducing you to the GCs that will be bidding on the concessions work. You will get to know a little about each company and how to pre-qualify with them in order to bid on the upcoming opportunities. Today, we will hear from CDS Mestel, VRH, and McKinley. At the end of our session, each GC will answer your questions. Thank you for attending.
Good afternoon. Hope everybody is doing well and keeping busy. I'm Justin Rothberg with CDS Mestel Construction Corp. We're general contractors and construction managers who have been doing work in the airports for quite some time. Just to give some brief background on who we are and what we do. General contractors, construction managers. We've been around for 108 years. I'm fourth generation here at CDS Mestel. My father's still involved in the business, and it was passed down from my great-grandfather back in 1916. So the type of work that we specialize in here at CDS Mestel is high-end retail, food and beverage venues, aviation projects, lounges, and retail throughout all the airports and Port Authority entities. So we do a lot of work in JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, bus terminal, and all those entities. So we have plenty of experience working in the airports and the Port Authority entities. We know the process very well. We've been doing the work since the first person decided to put retail spaces or lounges in the airports and these entities. So we know the processes and how to help our subcontractors through these processes to make it as easy as possible to move forward with getting the work started. These are some of the projects that we do. As you can see, we do a lot for Hudson News, a tremendous amount of work for them throughout all of these entities. This one is a Dior space that we've done in Terminal 1 JFK. You can see something that we've done for American Airlines, which is a hangar project at Terminal B LaGuardia. This is an Etihad lounge that we've done over in Terminal 4 JFK. It's no longer there, but we did do it. Some food and beverage, specifically at Terminal 8. We've got Bobby Vans. We've done a Van Leeuwen's, which was not in the airport, but still food and beverage. So the type of subcontractors that we're looking to partner with for any of our projects that we're working on, we've got a variety ranging from HVAC mechanical, carpentry, finished carpentry, which is like finished millwork installation. So the high-end millwork that you see in duty-free stores, or even in the picture up here to the left, throughout all these retail spaces that we build out, there's a tremendous amount of finished retail that comes into the spaces, whether they're wall units for high-end brands or generic brands. We would request to partner with skilled carpenters, or laborers to get these things installed. We're also looking for terrazzo companies, tile companies, door and hardware, roofing, paving. There's glass and metal for the storefront work that you see. So you can see here at the Sunglass Hut, there was a tremendous amount of glass and metal that needed to be done. So we require that, plumbing, electrical. So as you can see, even though some of these spaces are very small that we do, there's a tremendous amount of trades and a handful of people that it takes to build out these very beautiful, intricate spaces. So we're asking you to help us out with that. For the pre-qualification process of this, of any of our work, you could reach out to myself or our estimator, Sal, which you'll see our information at the end of the slides. But we're requesting, if you do have any project experience here in the airports or any of the Port Authority entities, just provide a detailed list of projects you've completed, and list where they were. You could put the project amount, and also if you can give some references of the people you've done the work for, that would be very helpful to us, so that we could just give them a call and just check the boxes to make sure that it was done on time, on budget, and obviously with good quality, because like I said, we do deal with a lot of high-end projects, and we want to ensure the highest possible quality for our clients. With that, also, we ask that you send us any information that you might have with working in secure environments. As you know, the airport is extremely different from working inside of any mall or outside the airports, working anywhere for them, for that matter. Just getting through security, TSA, the background checks. It's a very different process, and it could be time consuming. And if you're not used to it, it could be very hard for your team to navigate. Even though we are here to help you make sure it's as easy as possible, having that background experience makes it a little easier for us to work with your teams and ensure that you're getting in on time. There's no delays, ensuring everybody keeps calm, because I know it could be very frustrating when there's, a lot of people waiting online for their flights and you can't get in because the TSA is just not letting you in. There's always something happening at the airports that delays subcontractors and also the general contractor from getting started in a timely fashion. So we ask, if you have any of that background, please share that with us. Again, the credible references. And if you could, we would ask that you send any financial background to us, like financials to us, so that we could see that you are in fact capable of handling the types of projects that we deal with. And typically the projects that we do work on, they range anywhere from 200,000 to 20 million, let's say. So we just want to make sure that your firm is capable of handling this work, and we just want to do the best vetting that we can. As you might be aware, there is a labor harmony and prevailing wage agreement that the Port Authority has implemented. I know that for CDS Mestel, we do a lot of private work for the private tenants, such as, the Avoltas, the Duty Frees, Dufries, American Airlines. But most of those clients still do require that we fulfill the union wage. So CDS Mestel is union. We're signed with the carpenters and laborers unions, which there's a variety of carpentries, 45, 926. There's, 157. So there's a huge range that we're associated with. Laborers is 79, 66 on Long Island, 731. So we do require all the other trades as well, since, like I mentioned, in the airports, they do want to see union or prevailing wage. So we ask that that any of the subs applying through us to do work with us are prevailing wage or union. An important thing to let us know, if you've ever had, regarding your legal backgrounds, if there has been any, failed work that you've done, please do tell us. It's not a bad thing. Just, we want to be aware if there was anything that was not ever completed or something happened, just please try to tell us about that. But other than that, any additional info is always greatly appreciated. To just tell us who you are, what you do, and what makes you stand out from the other competition that's all around us. This is our contact information. If you need anything from myself, you could call me at any time. You could email me at any time. Also, Sal, who's our main estimator at CDS Mestel, please reach out to him. You could reach out to both of us on an email too. It's fine. We'll try to get to you as soon as possible. But we look forward in hearing from your teams and working with your teams in the future. So thank you very much for your time today.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angelo McKilley. I am the president of McKilley Inc., and I'm pleased to speak to you today about subcontractor onboarding at McKilley Inc. McKilley Inc., just to give you a little bit of background, has been around for about 25 years. I am the owner and president of the company. We are based in New York, and we primarily build retail and high-end commercial, commercial and residential spaces throughout the country, and are licensed in about 15 states throughout the country. Here you can see some of the locations we have built and are currently building in. We resource from various areas around the country, from Asia to Europe to South America. What we primarily do is we're a builder. We are builders. We primarily focus on general contracting as a lump sum builder, but we also perform services as a construction manager, as well as for some of our clients, we act as a service provider for maintenance and special projects. We do perform work on as a consulting basis, as for pre-construction services, and we also provide value engineering specific services for certain larger projects. The pre-qualification process at McKilley Inc. is fairly simplistic but thorough. Our system consists of two main softwares, DocuTrax and Procore. DocuTrax is primarily an insurance verification third-party agency, and Procore is our internal software, wherein we manage all of the project management of each of our projects. We pre-qualify our subcontractors, who provide labor and material, and we also pre-qualify our vendors who only provide material, as you may know. We have forms available to our subcontractors via our website, and we have provided links here in the slide to basically access the pre-qualification form. Any inquiries that these subcontractors may have can also be directed through the estimating department at estimating@mckilley.com. Basically, how to become a partner at McKilley starts off with the subcontractor entering the website, clicking on a portal for subcontractor access, which I will show you. There is a form to be filled out, which gets submitted to management. We have our estimating department and our contract administrative department who reviews the forms. Internally, we meet and discuss the application, and we also contact DocuTrax to review the certificate of insurance form for compliance. Here you can see kind of a snapshot of the access point in our website for subcontractors to visit in case they're interested in joining McKilley. Once the application is filled out and approved, we review references. We review the resume for each of the applicants. That goes through a thorough checkout process, if you will. They are then interviewed, whether it's remote or here in the office. We meet with as many subcontractors with the owners primarily as we can. Once that second step is approved, we move on to a master subcontract agreement. A master subcontract agreement is essentially a document, a 19, 20-page document that each of our subcontractor has to sign. Once he has agreed to the terms of that agreement, we will countersign, and essentially we have an agreement between the both of us that is valid for all of the projects each subcontractor will be performing for us. That's basically the essential approval process. Once the subcontract agreement is in place, actually you can see here some of the links for templates for pre-qualification forms for the master subcontract, which is available to the subcontractors to be viewed as well. And once that's approved, then we move on to a purchase order. And basically at that point, we are good to go, good to proceed on any specific project.
My name is Daniel Rodriguez, and I'm the Director of Corporate Communications and Alternative Delivery for VRH Construction. Additionally, we are joined by Sean McCalla, which is our Business Development and Diversity Manager for VRH Construction. And today I'll introduce the company, a little bit about VRH, some of our qualifications, and then Sean will speak directly to diversity and our process. Okay, so VRH Construction, we were founded in 1958, 65 plus years of industry experience. We specifically focus on the aviation sector. That is our market. We have become recognized in the past 65 years as aviation construction specialists. We do specialize in pre-construction, general contracting, and alternative delivery services, which include design build. Additionally, we have a passenger boarding bridge installation service. We also focus on concession, and as I mentioned earlier, design build and alternative delivery type services. We are truly the only company in the Northeast that does specialize in aviation construction. As I mentioned earlier, we have a total of 65 plus years of experience in the aviation industry across the various airports in the New York Metro, spanning from JFK to North Liberty to LaGuardia. We have a total of 3,900 plus projects completed, spanning roughly 3.7 billion in total costs over that 65-year span. What's incredibly important to us is to deliver the VRH experience, and that's the open communication, professionalism, and leadership that we bring to every project. It's important for us to be a valued business partner and really, deliver our value add, which is our 65 plus years of experience in the aviation industry, our lessons learned and best practices, and ability to really provide that early planning and support for every project to deliver from design through construction.
So a critical component to deliver the VRH experience are our subcontractors and our vendors. And in order to do business with VRH, our subcontractors vendors have to pre-qualify using a vendor pre-qualifications or subcontractor pre-qualification vendor form. The forms cover everything from the gambit and the pedigree information we're looking for is the ownership and the organization structure and the type of business you are, work trades that your firm provides, and the airport locations that you're willing to serve. We are aviation construction specialists, and we work at several airports within our portfolio, some outside of New York or upstate New York. Experience and financial history and your references you have, and your safety policy and EMR rating and history, as well as your insurance. As you can imagine, the insurance requirements of working on airport, landside, airside, post-security, and pre-security are quite substantial, and we want to make sure that you can do this work. A critical component of what we focus on, especially our relationships with minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, service, disabled, veteran-owned businesses, local businesses, and disadvantaged businesses. After approval, the subcontractor vendor will be added to the project bidders list of our corresponding trade and opportunity to bid. To receive a pre-qualification form, you can email Ashley at the email listed here with the subject subcontractor pre-qualification, or you could scan the QR code on the following page. I want to thank you for considering VRH, and please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. These are 2 versions of our form, and you can scan these QR codes to get the pre-qualification information, and you can reach out to Ashley or myself if you have any further questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Q&A. Just right off the top, because I'm probably going to repeat it a bunch of times, the most important places you're going to want to remember is the new jfk.com website. That's going to have all information. And if you need specific help, you can email info@rfwconsultants.com. They are working on all the concessions and the whole program going on at JFK T, so they will be able to help you. So the first question I got here is, what specific work will you be doing for the JFK Terminal 8 concession program? Justin, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So the types of work that we're focusing on is the retail aspect. So right now we were awarded 2 Hudson News Store locations. You see those everywhere throughout the terminal. So 2 of those, and then a Gameway store we're doing right now. But other things that are going to be part of this transformation are some food and beverage venues as well, so restaurants. So hopefully we could get involved with that type of work too. So that's the type of projects that we're seeing with this.
Great. And Angelo, what about you guys?
We're primarily focused on retail. That's kind of been our mainstay over the years. We'd also be looking at doing some common space or other types of similar high-end finished areas.
Wonderful. And Daniel, how about you guys?
Yeah, for us, we would focus really, anything related to the interior reconstruction alterations for the terminal itself. Noting that, we do have our retail concession group, and really the big focus here for T8 is the concession program, retail, food and beverage. So we think that's our priority focus. But, we have built up our experience on having that ability to work inside that airport terminal space. So outside of the concessions, clearly any tenant fit out or anything that supports the terminal itself.
Yep. And just for everyone on the call, not everything's been awarded yet. So you're going to see over the next few weeks more and more stuff getting awarded to all the GCs on the call. Okay, the next question. Does pre-qualifying allow me to work on other projects with your firm or just on the Terminal 8 projects? Sean, do you want to take that one for VRH?
Certainly. So once you're certified or you're pre-qualified with VRH, you are on our bidders list in perpetuity. And what keeps you on that bidders list is essentially the quality of your work. You're delivering the product that you said you would deliver. So our pre-qualification is just the beginning of our long-term partnership with VRH Construction on a multitude of projects. And that's why we ask that you identify what airports, what regions you're interested in working with. Some people have the willingness to go upstate, and we use them as well as JFK as well as in Syracuse. So it's a long-standing relationship.
Wonderful. And Angelo, how about you guys?
We're a national general contractor. We work in about 20 states around the country. When we hire our subcontractors, we take a lot of time to go through the due diligence, and we'd like that work to kind of that investment to pay off. So once we spend the time, we really want to create a relationship and allow those subcontractors to participate in as many projects as they're willing to look at.
Wonderful. And Justin, how about you guys?
I'm going to second everything that Sean brought up. Obviously, it's open to other projects as long as you're showing quality and that you're able to do this type of work. We don't mind keeping you involved with anything else that we have inside the airports as well as out.
Wonderful. Okay, next question. What qualifications are you looking for in companies who pre-qualify with you? So I'm going to go in reverse order. So Justin, you want to start with that one?
Sure. I mean, obviously, you got to have the experience of working in high-end retail or food and beverage projects. I don't want to discourage you, but we have seen numerous like residential contractors, and honestly, I don't know if this is the type of area where you're capable of handling this type of work. But It is definitely a different animal working here in the airport logistically wise, as well as the type of work that they expect to come from you. So you just got to be capable of performing that type of work. So hopefully you have some sort of marketing material or brochures that could show us that of your capabilities.
Okay, Angela?
Aside from the, qualification items such as insurance, meeting our requirements, agreeing to an MSA, we're looking for a strong back office, strong support from the office in terms of paperwork, in terms of submittals, keeping up with the project. And obviously, we'd like to meet the superintendent who will be on the site. He's really the most important part of the entire puzzle.
Wonderful. And Sean, how about you guys?
So to mimic my counterparts and my peers, it's showing that you have experience in high and low end, but we also look into opportunities for newcomers who have a strong administrative end, a strong back office, as Angela said. The back office is equally as important as what we're doing in the field. That's where a lot of the work happens before we even drive a nail. So that's one thing. And then also understanding that the subcontractor understands where they're working. You're in an active terminal, a lot of expensive things around. You have the insurance components, you have the security clearances that you can make to work post-security and pre-security, and just understanding the area that you're really working in. That's what we're really looking for.
Wonderful. Okay, so next couple questions are about bidding. So what does the bidding process look like to work with your firm? Angela, why don't we start with you on that one?
We typically, once we receive the RFP, we will distribute drawings within 24 to 48 hours to all subcontractors who have been chosen to participate. In the same time, our estimating department creates scope sheets to accompany the rest of the project. So you will immediately receive drawings, and then once the scope sheets arrive, you will be asked to fill out the scope sheets and include a breakdown pursuant to what the estimating department has deemed to be an itemized breakdown. That process usually takes a little bit less than 2 weeks, or if we're given 4 weeks, we allow the subcontractors 3 weeks. We also then add on a construction schedule that the subcontractors have to make sure that they can adhere to. So all of those pieces are evaluated together, making a decision on not only the final price, but also on the selection of the subcontract.
Wonderful. And Justin, how about you?
I mean, what's the question again? I'm sorry.
No problem. What does the bidding process look like at your
yes.
firm?
I mean, once we get the plans from the client, as soon as we get that, hopefully you guys after this this call in, we could get some information from you guys. We'll put you in with our estimator, myself and Sal. And as soon as the next ones come out, we'll definitely get you involved for pricing, and we'll go from there. We'll send you a link. We'll give you a time limit. We'll give you a date when it's due. And then hopefully you're able to provide competitive pricing. That's it.
Wonderful. And Daniel or Sean, I'm not sure which one of you want to take this for VRH.
I can really quickly go through it unless Daniel you want to add to it. So for people who are new to VRH and subcontractors that are new to VRH, what we like to do is we like to have essentially a meet the teams meeting. You meet with our estimating team. We get to better understand the scopes of work and that you'd like to work in, where you feel comfortable, the range, the dollar value. But what we typically do with our legacy subcontractors is that once we do get contract drawings or notice to proceed, we sit down, we create a scope of work, and we share that with our legacy subcontractors, understanding where they feel best, the environment that they best work in dollar wise and scope of work wise. We have an open resource. We have a internal program where you can communicate with our pre-construction team, our estimating team, and they're very accessible. And that's pretty much it.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to combine the next two questions. So, are there opportunities for a sub to ask questions before they submit a bid? And then on the flip side, if their bid is declined, is there an opportunity to talk with someone so they can submit a better bid the next time? Justin, how about I start with you on this one?
Sure. I mean, you have the opportunity both ways. I mean, definitely ask questions before it's due. And then if you don't win the project, obviously, I mean, I do the same thing. Whenever we lose a bid, I mean, I would like to know why myself as CDS Mestel overall, why didn't we get the job? So we do encourage you to ask both before, just to make sure you're qualified and you have everything. And then if you don't get the job, 100% ask what separated you from the other person that might have won the job.
Wonderful. Angela?
Yeah, similar to what was just said. We welcome as many RFI that are possible. Actually, more RFIs, the better. It is an indicator usually to how interested the subcontractor is in the project. And during the evaluation process, we like to go back and forth with the subcontractor, improves our chances as well for winning. And feedback at the end of the project is invaluable for future opportunities.
Wonderful. And Sean?
So yes, as I said before, we do allow and welcome the communication so we can understand, we can get a better price from you. Understanding the scope is a critical component, not only for VRH winning the job, but for you as well. And essentially a post-mortem review, I critically believe in this as part of the estimated process. It's a critical component to understand where you stand in the market. So as our peers there, we want to go back. We want to find out where we were high, where we were low. How could we be better? And I encourage all subcontractors to do that. When you don't win a job, it's the only way really to become better and understand the marketplace that you're working in.
Wonderful. The next question, do you look for companies that are food safety trainers as well as hospitality consultants? I think I could probably say that that's kind of before anything would come to us. So for that type of work, you're going to want to reach out to RFW or go to thenewjfk.com, fill out the intake form. Then RFW is going to get your information over to the actual food and beverage companies because that's kind of where that would come into play. Does anyone here look for OSHA trainers as part of your work?
I don't know. We don't.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so that another one that would be good to fill out the intake form on thenewjfk.com. So OSHA trainers, food safety trainers, all those sorts of things are sort of before it would come to the contractor. So they would be able to help you and put you guys in touch with the proper parties for those types of work.
I mean, I'm sure that they could collaborate though with some of the subcontractors that are watching this, because most of the trades or all the trades that are working within the project, they should have their OSHA 30,
100%.
40-hour SST. So they have a good chance in connecting with some of these subs, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Are we able to get direct links to the pre-qualification process site for each contractor? If you guys reach out to info.t8 at RFW Consultants, they're going to have that as well as everyone's presentations. They're going to post all that information and they'll be able to give that to you. So if you want to review any of the presentations from today or the previous sessions, as well as get the direct links to the pre-qual, they will have that for you. Are there opportunities for site safety managers? So do any of you guys hire site safety managers, or is that all internal for you?
For VRH, it's internal. However, I'll say from a global scoping and granular, there's definitely opportunities if the job project is big enough. Again, they should reach out to the TA team. Definitely look at some RFPs, but we have our own site safety managers. But sometimes a project becomes so large that you may need an additional one to adhere to New York City codes and Port Authority codes. So while we don't have that opportunity now, there's definitely an opportunity across the whole redevelopment program.
Yeah,
Great.
I'm same thing as Sean. I mean, for now, we have our own in-house site safety supervisors, but I still think it's good to take your information for other projects that we are currently working on or doing inside or outside the airport. I think that's always great to have that information. So don't be discouraged from sharing that info with us.
And Angela, what about you?
Absolutely. We do the same. We have internal site safety supervisors, but basically echoing Justin and Sean.
Great. Next one is, we are an MBE electrical sub. Who do we need to reach out to for more info? So you will want to fill out the intake form on thenewjfkt8.com. then what will happen is the RFW team will get your information to all the contractors that are going to be working across T8, and each of those contractors will then reach out to you to pre-qualify. What about suppliers? Are we looking for suppliers, and do suppliers need to pre-qualify? So for you, Justin, do suppliers pre-qualify with your company as well?
With CDS Mastel, no, not directly, but again, since most of these subcontractors here are looking to do work with us, I mean, you could definitely, there's a good opportunity to partner up with these other subcontractors that will be bidding for us. It definitely helps. Like, for example, I know that, if we're hiring an electrical company and we're trying to meet these MWBE goals, they'll link up with an electrical supplier that's an M or a W or SDVOB. So that's always a good thing to have. So I would recommend that they reach out to the subs here in this instance, not directly to CDS.
Angelo, do you guys pre-qualify suppliers?
We don't typically pre-qualify suppliers. Typically, the purchase order speaks for itself. It's just a matter of clarifying, specifications, delivery times, and insurance.
Wonderful. And Sean?
So we do have a vendor pre-qualification process. We encourage, especially if they're minority-owned, women-owned, SDVOB-owned businesses, we encourage them to go through that process. And while we understand, the other component of that is that if they're certified as an MRW, you understand that the service you provide or the equipment that you provide or you supply, that your commodity code matches that on your Port Authority designation. It's a critical component to say, hey, I supply light bulbs, and your commodity code doesn't speak to that. So there's a vetting of that. It's an easier pre-qualification process, but we absolutely welcome and encourage pre-qualification of suppliers.
Wonderful. Next question is, could you tell me how MBE Video and Photo Production Company could work on T8 projects? For that, you'll want to fill out the intake form on the new JFK.com because your information can get sent to the contractors, but also directly to the concessionaires that are going to be there and the client itself. So that'll get thrown all around. Will temporary power be required for this portion of the project? Dennis, do you know if there will be any temp power required?
Yeah, so we do have spaces that are raw and brand new, so there's definitely going to be a need for temporary power, as well as some of the existing ones. I mean, it's a lot easier, obviously, when you have an existing space to kind of make that happen while you're in construction. But yeah, we do have quite a few brand new raw spaces that will require that. But yeah, sure.
Wonderful. So for that, then you're going to want to fill out the intake form again, and it's going to get sent to anyone that could possibly use the temp power. Next one, I am a wheelchair paraplegic. That's the owner of a company that employs many people with disabilities, former incarcerated people, and the homeless. I would like to know what's being done to include companies like ours. So URW has been very strategic about trying to include anyone, all types of companies across the board, not just M's, W's, SDVOBs. So when you fill out the intake form, RFW is going to reach out to you. They're going to get your information to all the proper people and try to get you guys working within the airport. Dennis, anything to add to that?
No, I think that you said it perfectly. We have a consultant that we specifically delegated to manage that aspect. So that would be essentially the path forward, is to go through them, and they usually do all of the legwork for us on our behalf.
Wonderful. Is there an overall project management overseeing all the contractors? That would just be URW as the client. They are overseeing everything that's going on. This question is specifically for you, Angelo. How long does your master subcontract form last for? Is it an annual submission?
No, there's no end date on it. We do issue amendments to it every year to 2 years, but there is not an end date on it.
Wonderful. And do you need insurance if you are just a supplier? Do you guys require insurance from suppliers or just subcontractors?
I would say it would just come from the subcontractor since they're not doing the work in the field. Yeah, but I guess this, a sub would answer that, but typically I wouldn't see them providing any sort of certificate of insurance or insurance.
Sean, if you guys contract directly with a supplier, do you require insurance from them?
Not if the project doesn't call for it. I
Yeah.
can't foresee, anything like that, other than like trucking insurance for the,
Yeah.
things of that nature. If they direct ship or drop
There'd
ship.
be like some sort of warranty guarantee, obviously, like, that
Right.
their supplies are gonna last, but that's probably all that we would see.
Right. Daniel,
Okay.
you'd agree, right?
Yeah.
All right, the next couple of questions, I think I can handle all in sort of the same way. So, is there a chance for watch guards or physical security companies, and then cleaning companies or pest control and professional services, and then administrative services such as bookkeeping and notary services? All of those things, there is a chance a contractor would need it, but there's also a chance in those cases that maybe the concessionaires would be looking for it themselves, or URW on their end. So again, filling out the intake form is going to be your best course of action. RFW is going to go through that, get the information to any party that could possibly be interested in using you. Is the scope of work for the T concessions including the work outside? No, this is just, we are just talking about all the concessions, the food and beverage, the retail places inside the airport now. Does McKinley have any airport work experience? So Angelo, that one is for you.
No, at this moment we do not.
Okay. So looking to get in the airport. So,
Exactly.
do you provide opportunities for suppliers to meet with subcontractors? Again, that's going to be something for RFW to handle. So again, fill out the intake form, and RFW is going to get you in contact with the right people in order to get you associated with this work. So that was our last question. So again, just to recap, a lot of these things you're going to want to either email RFW at info.t8@rfwconsultants.com or go to thenewjfk.com. There will be an intake form on there. You can fill it out. RFW will get your information to all the right people. You'll also be able to see upcoming events, past events. So any information you could possibly want about this job and all these jobs are going to be on that website there. So thank you for all the panelists for joining, answering questions. Thank you for everyone joining today, and we will see you again soon.